Do you remember when Apple said this?
A lot's changed and it's time for the connector to evolve. Our new connector is called Lightning. This connector is a modern connector for the next decade.
Yeah, and homie was not lying about that. So, I hear the highly anticipated iPhone 15 is going to come with a bunch of new features never introduced in an iPhone before, including what is being called the Action button and USB-C. I, for one, am indifferent to these new changes. The EU recently passed a rule making USB-C mandatory in all modern phones, including the iPhone. And being that Apple wants consistency upon all devices, that means all future iPhones, regardless of where in the world you get them, will have a USB-C port. So that in turn means an official nail in the coffin of the Lightning cable. Eventually, every current Apple product with a Lightning port will inevitably be updated with a Lightning USB-C port. Quite sad. Huh? What's that? Good riddance to the Lightning cable, you say? What? It wasn't that powerful and it would break easily? What? This might be an unpopular opinion, but I for one think that the wear and tear of the Lightning cable is solely due to no one's fault but the users. As you can see, my Lightning cable is just fine. Oh, I think my AirPods need to charge. Hold on. Oh, editor, blur this out. I think we can all agree that the Lightning cable has long overstayed its welcome. But what if I told you that USB-C won't be the iPhone's saving grace like you think it is? Hear me out, okay? Let me cook. So Apple, as many would expect, opposed the EU's USB-C rules. And some people are not too fond of the sudden change because of all the Lightning connectors people have accumulated over the years that will eventually just be obsolete, which is a fair point. But it's also very unlikely that people don't at least own a couple of USB-C cables due to other devices they may own, including headphones, hard drives, keyboards, mice, cameras, Bluetooth speakers, controllers, and gee, I don't know, the higher end iPads? The Mac? Hello? Apple fan or not, we can all agree that that argument is as ridiculous as a Lightning port on the AirPods Max. But that's why I think Apple's opposition to this rule is deeper than we think. And I have a feeling it has a little something to do with money. You see, Apple has this program built around their peripherals called the M5 program. This program is the only way a third-party developer can get their product officially licensed for use on Apple devices. If tested and approved, then you get to slap this badge on your product package and promotion, which in turn can boost sales of your product. Not only that, but Apple devices have systems in place where they can suddenly reject your third-party charging cable if it detects that it isn't certified. And if any of you have ever bought a cheap charger in the past from like a random store or whatever and it didn't work on your iPhone, that was most likely the reason. That explains so much. Now you can argue that Apple is doing this for your iPhone's safety. Sure, but let's not pretend that Apple doesn't greatly benefit from this as well. On top of them being the ultimate dictator on what works and doesn't work with their devices, they also get a cut from the profits as well. And I'm not talking from like a one-time fee either. I mean, they get to take a cut from every single purchase related to the Lightning connector. It is estimated that they make around $2 to $4 passively from every unit sold and will ever be sold forever. And that money adds up. So knowing this, do you blame Apple for being against a rule that could potentially lose them hundreds of millions of dollars? They're a business after all. That's just how it is. So why do I think the iPhone movement to USB-C is such a bad idea? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Just because Apple doesn't own USB-C doesn't mean they can't control how the iPhone chooses to react to it. Do you think they're just going to allow a profitable money stream to just completely dry up? Who's stopping them from implementing the same practice they've been doing to the Lightning connectors? Do you think that now that the iPhone will be sporting USB-C, that all of those respective charges that you've accumulated over the years are just going to work with your iPhone? What's stopping them from limiting transfer speeds and disabling fast charging or non-certified cables? I have one more question for you. Are those chargers you own M5 certified? That's why I think it's bad. It ultimately defeats the purpose of USB-C. If you can't just plug it in and not have to think about it, then it's not convenient. At least with lightning cables, it was in its own lane. But now that your iPhone will be sharing the same port as basically every modern device in your house, but probably won't accept every USB charger you happen to have in your house, then what's the point? If you're watching up until this point, then you probably acknowledge that not all USB-C cables are made the same. But I feel like this would cause utter frustration and confusion for the average consumer, who could have left their official charging cable at home, but then tried to use a random one they happen to have at work that may or may not end up being recognized by their iPhone, which is the opposite of what USB-C is supposed to stand for. And for those of you who still aren't convinced, just know this. It has already been happening to Apple's other USB-C devices like the iPad. The idea of your iPhone universally accepting any respective cable sounds all good, but I highly doubt Apple is going to truly allow that, unless they're somehow getting a piece of the pie anyway. The good news is, though, that it's not like M5 certified products are hard to come by, just less convenient compared to the random USB-C cable probably collecting dust in your drawer. And look, I acknowledge that I can definitely be wrong here. But let's not pretend that this isn't a real possibility. But look on the bright side. The iPhone charging cables are going to come in different colors. I want the black one. Thanks for watching. And if you want to see more of me, you know what to do. I just realized in their upcoming event, they probably won't mention USB-C, but they'll probably use the term Thunderbolt. Lightning comes first, and then what? Thunder, exactly.